All right, it is 6 o'clock. The Finance and Personnel Committee is called to order. We'll begin with the roll. Alder Bellinger.
Here.
Alder Close. Here. Alder Decker.
Here.
Alder Perella.
Here.
Mitchell is here. We have a full quorum. Will you all please join me in the pledge? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll move right on to item 4, the approval of the minutes from the December 8th, 2025 meeting. Do we have any discussion on those minutes? We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second? All right, we have a motion to approve by Alder Bellinger, second by Alder Close. Seeing no discussion on those minutes, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Chair votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion passes. Those minutes are approved. Next up is item 5, the public comment period. We'll ask that everybody who would like to speak, please sign in on the clipboard that is being passed around, and City Attorney Majerus will call people up based on the names on that list. You'll have 3 minutes.
Thank you. The first name on the list is Rebecca Clark.
Oh, God.
Good evening. Thanks for the chance to speak. Rebecca Clark, 735 Fairway Drive in the city of Sheboygan. I'm actually here tonight to speak on the Caper public hearing. I just wanted to briefly bring up that there's some other issues tied into the Caper as well, dealing with zoning and some things within the city. And if I could just advocate, as I'm going to probably do a little bit more later on, that the city really engage and shift your focus to the strategic plan completion. I think that according to state statutes, really the strategic plan is what leads your coding and not the other way around. And if we keep doing all these coding changes, including for housing, once the comprehensive plan is done, it may turn to the Plan Commission to actually have to rewrite the codes again once you get all that public input. So again, if you're slowing down, really push your money and efforts towards completing your comprehensive plan. It's a heavy push. It's a legacy document. Your names will be on it for 10 years. It will provide all the input that these folks want to have. I just think that would make things a lot easier. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
The next name is Mark Goswitz.
And I apologize. I don't think I asked this at first, but please do.
I'm sorry?
I don't think I asked this the first time, but coming up to speak, please state your name, address, and then you'll have your 3 minutes.
Yeah, Mark Goswitz, Los Angeles Avenue. And I'm here to talk about the sale of land, the proposed sale to Amazon out there in South Business Park. And I've heard the number $35,000 an acre. And I ask, really? Because that sounds like a sellout to me, because that sounds like a lot of money, and it's really a good deal for someone, but is it really a good deal? I did a little math, and I have a corner lot in Sheboygan. It's 10,000 square feet, and an acre is 43,500 square feet, so I have about 1/4 acre of land. And the little acre of land I sit on has been appraised by Sheboygan at $25,000 in my latest tax bill, which adds up to about $100,000 an acre. The South Business area in question here we're talking about is 50 acres. And if it was appraised by the city at the same rate my house is, the whole 50 acres would be worth about $5 million. But yet the city is proposing charging Amazon $35,000 an acre. That comes out to $1.7 million. So you see the problem? Somebody's getting a really good deal here. This weekend, I looked it up. Jeff Bezos personally has $250 billion sitting in the bank. Amazon this weekend as a company was worth $2.6 trillion. So let's throw out a number. If Amazon wants to buy that land, I say let's charge them $1 million an acre. It would cost Bezos personally at $1 million an acre, 0.02% of his bank account. 0.02%. It would cost Amazon as a company, if they buy it at $1 million an acre, 0.002% of what they're worth. 0.002%. of what Amazon is worth. So given today's evaluations, $1 million an acre is really chump change for these people. It is nothing. It'd be $50 million. They make that in a day. Wouldn't even look at it twice. So somebody here is getting a really good deal. Either Amazon needs to pay way more, or I need a hell of a tax cut, because I'm paying 4 times what they are. And I looked it up. Amazon recently, they've bought land near Madison. They bought land. They paid $1 million an acre. In Virginia, they paid $3 million an acre. And we're talking about $35,000 an acre. Somebody's getting ripped off. Someone's getting ripped off. So I'll let you figure out who is, but it sure isn't Amazon. Thank you.
Mary Dotz.
Hi, my name is Mary Dotz, Los Angeles Avenue, and I'm here to talk about Amazon as well. While I truly believe that eventually Amazon will want to build a data center on that property, let's first address the warehouse. Amazon is commonly reported and criticized for abusing and exploiting workers. They have unrealistic productivity quotas, high injury rates, surveillance and micromanaging their employees. They're punishing time-off tasks, which include bathroom use, stretching, talking to a supervisor. They have anti-union practices, retaliation against whistleblowers, which if anybody talks about safety issues, COVID-19 protections, or working conditions, there have been people reported fired or disciplined for speaking of those things. Inventory mandatory overtime. During peak working hours, they report that they have to work 10 to 12-hour shifts on 6 days per week, and refusal to do the overtime can lead to discipline. Use of temporary and contract labor. Bathroom access issues. Workers and delivery drivers have reported limited access to bathrooms, drivers resorting to bottles being used during delivery routes, and Amazon has acknowledged driver pressures but disputes systemic issues. And the mental health strain. This job creates anxiety, depression, and burnout. And they have a turnover by design philosophy, and critics argue the system is designed for replacement and not retention. Now let's talk about the wages. I'm certainly hoping that you will all take into consideration the fact that we really need good-paying jobs here. When Amazon pays approximately $15, $16, $17 for their warehouse employees, that is not enough in this community to pay rent and buy food. I think that Amazon should find other places to be or pay their employees a decent wage. Thank you.
Julie? I'm sorry, I don't know your last name on here.
My name is Julie Felbab. I live at 119 Menominee Drive. I just have a few points to make about the South Point comparison. South Point, it's all ready to build. The roads, the water, the sewer, utilities, everything's there. Jeff Bezos, he's worth about $255 billion. And why are we selling land here to them for 80 cents a square foot when land in other Wisconsin cities sells for much more? I think what we really, we're the people that you represent, and we're all very concerned. And I think we're just asking you to slow down your horses a little bit, be more transparent, take your time with this. And, we don't want to end up being like Port Washington. That's a master class, and things can get out of hand and how horrible it can be. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Lisa Salgado.
Lisa Salgado, 4th Street. I'm here because citizens really just want the best deal. I mean, we want to make sure that you're looking at the contract very closely and all the clauses in it. The city is selling 58.1 acres for $35,000 an acre, or just over $2 million total. This is shovel-ready business park infrastructure in place. This isn't raw farmland. It's fully prepared development land. Yet the contract does not require Amazon to build anything. Amazon can walk away after years of due diligence and approvals, and the city's remedy is limited to recovering out-of-pocket costs capped at $50,000. And yet they're wanting us to make the infrastructure changes for what they're requiring for those parcels. So taxpayers are carrying the risk. Amazon is not. Amazon gets up to 2 years before closing is even required. During that time, the city is locked into exclusivity and cannot market this land to anybody else. So it's tying up that property for 2 years. Maybe someone will come along and offer more for it. This contract includes a confidentiality clause that restricts the city from speaking publicly without Amazon's consent. We know that city officials have already signed an NDA. Economic development should not require secrecy. Taxpayers deserve to know what commitments are being made with public land. The city is responsible for vacating roads, preparing survey maps, maintaining the regional detention pond, and removing streetlights at the city's expense. Once those costs are subtracted from the $2 million sale price, how much does Sheboygan actually gain? Once we sell public land below market value with weak safeguards, future developers are going to want the same deal. This is a race to the bottom, and taxpayers lose every time. Sheboygan deserves a better deal that protects public assets, ensures real accountability, and delivers measurable public benefit. This contract doesn't do that. I urge the council to slow down, renegotiate the terms, and put taxpayers first. Thank you.
Is there anyone in the room that hasn't been able to sign up yet? Okay. Judy Poole.
My name is Judy Poole, 18 Ashwood Drive, and Lisa said pretty much everything, but I just wanted to say that this deal seems to put most of the risk on the city, which means it's on us taxpayers. And why should we take the risk instead of the developer? So we're looking to slow this down enough, renegotiate it, and put a hold on this until we've got some more specific rules in place for the developer and Amazon. Thank you.
Peter Jacobs.
My name is Peter Jacobs, and I live at 930 Meade Avenue. It's hard for me to see what specific benefits that the city is and Sheboygan is going to get from this deal. And we've talked about that. As far as jobs go, I mean, they really don't promise any good quality jobs here. We've got better paying factory jobs here, and we can't get people for those. And so are we going to pull in people from other areas? And I think that also, I'm worried about all these non-disclosure agreements. I mean, it looks like Amazon has really, in any documents, they just, they want guaranteed from us, non-disclosure. And, let's be better than that. Let's not let this big, rich company overrun us, take over us. And then I'm worried about that if whatever they start with, in their first iteration here in Sheboygan, that it could lead on to something like a data center. And we've there's certainly plenty of news in the media about data centers, and they say that 80 in a Pew poll, 80% of American adults are against data centers, and I am just concerned that if we get a data center here, that it's going to bring down my property value. No one will want to come here because we're in the shadow of a data center. So, as I say, I want to know what specific benefits does the public actually get from this deal, and not just promises. Let's get guarantees from Amazon. Thank you so much.
Linda Proust.
Hello, Linda Proust. I'm at Columbus Avenue here in Sheboygan, and just all the media hype about this land purchase and the non-transparency of not knowing what's going on and going to happen in our backyards scares me. Comparing to what's going on in Port Washington. I drove by there on Tuesday, and that is just a massive project. But for me as a citizen, it scares me to see what went on down there, and I don't want to see that happen in Sheboygan. So the transparency for economic development shouldn't happen behind closed doors. Any secrecy in this deal should concern us taxpayers, just because of the history of what's gone on with these data centers. Not to say that we're getting one, but yeah. And then the opportunity, once we sell this land, it's gone forever. Our small little town of Sheboygan. I've been here 30 years, and the parks and the wildlife and the waterways and that type of thing is something that drew me to relocate here. And how does the city decide what's best for this land if we give it away and lose control over it? So, yeah, that's my concern. And the non-disclosure is what's really scaring me. So, thank you.
Tina Kay. Tina?
Hi.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Tina Kokonakis, 419 Niagara Avenue in Sheboygan. I echo what this young lady said. I moved here from Chicago in 2018, and what drew me here was, and Chicago has Lake Michigan as well, but what drew me was the beach. It was just so lovely. I would hate to see what could happen if a data center eventually would come here, which it will, I'm quite certain. So we're selling 58 acres for $2 million, which equals about 80 cents per square feet. And after site improvements, how much does that leave as revenue? Not much, I would imagine. And I just want you guys to really think about that Sheboygan residents deserve a whole lot better than that. Thank you.
Roseanne Brandt.
Hi, Roseanne Brandt. I live on North 27th Place. Before I read this, I want to tell you that through my career, I've been in a lot of factories, a lot of plants I was in purchasing. I've seen robotics everywhere, but they were always a helper. What I understand with some of these Amazon plants is that they want to go dark, which means there's no employees, or very few. We've got plants in Sheboygan that has a dark side of their plants. There's no one there at night except on the other side of the plant. Are we going to end up with that? And with that, we don't have employees. How many people are going to get anything from that? And with that also, if the company leaves early and it never bills, how do the taxpayers get taken care of? And do we lose the land while the company walks away without any consequences? And I don't see any clawback in this. What happens if it goes away? We could be using that land for something else if they're going to sit on it for years and then not do anything with it. Thank you.
Chuck Fox?
Chuck Fox, 1313 South 12th Street. I got pretty heavily involved in the Port Washington situation, and what I found out with the one going on here, there's a lot of similarities in the hidden nature of some of the policies that are being adapted. But one of the things that I kind of want to bring to the point is, 58 acres really isn't enough to do an Amazon-style data center. You need more. I mean, most of these AI data centers are running, 500. In fact, I think Port Washington's 1,700 acres, which tells you right away when you do a Google Maps on the area that there's plenty of parcels on the outside of that. So much so that if I was the guy who owned the Volkswagen dealership, I'd just be abiding my time because there's going to be a big buyout for him. Once Amazon gets their foot into the 58 acres, okay, then they're going to probably wait a couple years to see how the ATC power line situation's playing out, because they're going to need that energy. And once they find out that there's energy to be had, finally in those 2 years, they're going to start buying up all the parcels from the east to the west and the north and the south that are just sitting there waiting to be had. Like I said, I think the only real business in that area, in that square group of parcel, is Volkswagen. So what we're at now, and this is really the sad part, is we're at late stage, end stage capitalism, where corporations, trillion-dollar corporations, in fact, start cannibalizing local communities via their land, water, air, and power. Right now, the PJ Interconnect market from Chicago to the East Coast has been seeing record-breaking capacity auctions. So much so that people that had $150 electric bills, all of a sudden after the auctions were saddled with bills of $600 to $900 and some $1,000 or more. And this was all because of energy data center demand. And one of the things about that is that it's in the one in Port Washington, Vantage claims that there isn't going to be any increase in some of these electric water bills. How they could make a statement like that when the energy markets are determined by auctions based on supply and demand is ludicrous. So there's a lot of lies going on down there in Port Washington, and apparently there could be a few lies going on around here if people are keeping up the facade that this thing is just going to be a logistics center on 58 acres. I really don't think you guys should be doing this. The quality of life will go to zero, and the fact that you could be being played by Amazon, I think, is really the big part here. Because if they're going to be playing you, that means they've played everybody in this room and everybody in this community. And the last thing that any council, any commission should let your constituents be played. And I think you're being played here, people.
Mike Burnett.
Mike Burnett, 611 North Water Street. Welcome to EMJ4 and your pretty Mike. And it's like, I'm the guy who wishes a data center was coming. There ain't no data center coming. There never was no data center coming. I'm the guy who is looking at Asher's thing, and I looked into it and I'm saying, wait a minute. This is totally piped out for a data center. I hope a data center's coming. It's like my whole life I worked in automating me out of having to do stuff. In photography, newspaper, I started in the lead type era and was at every major paper step for some odd reason when they made a major breakthrough. And bottom line is, we put in all the infrastructure. ATC came through, ran those pipes through. That's all for the Port Washington plant, and more importantly, it allows the future of our manufacturing to take off. What should be automated should be automated. And basically, you're going to be having a big transformation of Sheboygan County where there's going to be be quite a bit of extra money. Fewer humans needed to do it. Amazon fits in with a distribution center because a place like Kohler, Valworth, whatever, they can keep some stock right there. And it really helps the community, and it's hard to see. And you guys know how I talk about whatever, but I really think the only thing that sucks about this, and it sucks for you, that you're kind of roped into this contract, and when you got into it, it sounded fantastic. It's like, yes, we got rid of that thing, and it helps with that overall bigger picture. I see higher paying jobs. They raised the amount you can get in minimum wage because they know there's going to be a lot of jobs gone, but there's a big training program going on. Wisconsin has really good stuff set up for it, and Sheboygan County has a program. And basically, they're going to be moving people up the ladder. And if you haven't been paying attention, we can't fill these jobs. People don't want to get up at 2 in the morning and go out and climb into a cheese vat in Plymouth. They don't want to walk out there. You ain't taking the bus. I drove Uber. You know how much I made to take somebody out there? $30. I'm kind of like, geez, you're going out here to work and you're blowing 30 on your ride? That's ridiculous. This actually works in that way, and I would be shocked if there's a data center. And quite honestly, I wish there was. I mean, I see great prosperity for all of America, and a lot of it is because people will be able to chill like they always wanted to, and stuff will be dropping to close to zero. And it's like, I think it's a good thing. It's just the wrong deal at the wrong time. If you would have been getting a data center, it would have paid. It would have cut your taxes in half. But this, it still booms the area. Bye-bye.
The last person I have on the list, unless there's anyone else I missed, is Cliff Aaron.
Cliff Aaron, 611 North Water. I'm probably going to have my thunder stolen a lot, which is fantastic because I agree with a lot of these people, but the points they've been bringing up. I've been following Ozaukee County. Now, I got out in the 70s, and I remember full well, I had a 3-inch stack of applications, rejection letters. I took a photo of it. It was so bad in the 80s. There was no internet. There was none of this stuff. Internet, fine, great. But you know, I tried being the working student route, and LTC changed their policy. I was throwing money good after bad because I had to adjust my school schedule because work came first to pay the rent, okay? So I wanted to get into CAD and higher tech stuff. I've had some semi-professional jobs. I worked my way all the way up from factory, basic factory machine operation, inspection, forklift driving, semi-professional map making, all kinds of stuff. And I did it through on-the-job training mainly. So I had to get very good at learning a job very fast, and I was very good at it. I would say my success rate with temps was like 90%. They would call me often, several temps at a time. That's how I made my bones paying the rent. Rentals have gone up. I did a little survey on this because I darn near ended up out on the street myself. I've never seen so many people on the street in this town. I've never had that my whole life, and I've never seen anything like this. The rent has gone up 5 times what it was in 2008, and that's not including, if you add services and utilities, it's even worse. Now, how is a person supposed to, I had trouble retraining myself because I got caught in this trap, this catch-22 of having to change my education schedule, and they only offer so many of the upper level classes, so that meant I had to drop out. I had to wait another year for the class. By then, all the materials and all the technology changes again. It went from cassettes all the way up to flash drives. Now, how is a person supposed to keep up with a changing technology that's changing too fast, pay higher rentals? I have questions about this. Ozaukee County, I've been following that. They have concerns, water, electricity. These guys are will gobble up water and electricity. You think that won't raise your utility bills? You got another guest coming. They brought these issues up and they kind of poo-poo. The other thing is environmental. Everyone wants to come up here to get away from Chicago's polluted water. We have decent water quality up here, but it's changing. And it's going to change even more, and people probably aren't going to like it. Environmental concerns. Now, and another thing is, they don't give us enough information on what type of appraisals How many people are going to do the appraisals? How many jobs is this place going to create? What are the wages? How long are the jobs going to last? I had to do like 2 or 3 part-time jobs to make ends meet sometime and go to school part-time. Are these going to be part-time jobs, full-time jobs? Do they last? And not only that, it's great to have a higher paying job, but the number of jobs are going to be outsourced by the number of jobs you just replaced. So the net effect is a negative job loss.
Sorry, sir.
The other
your
thing
time
too that
has
I
run
have a
out.
question on,
Thank
is
you.
it a warehouse or is it data?
Sir, 3 minutes per person. Thank you. Just would like to ask one more time before we move on. Was there anybody else that would like to speak? All right, then seeing none, we will move on to item number 6, which is report number 36 of 2526, submitting a summons and complaint in the matter of Waldo State Bank versus Taylor Properties LLC et al. Looks like the recommendation on here is to hold.
Thank you. So item 6 and item 7 relate to a matter, foreclosure matter, where the city is a creditor to the defendant. So we would just recommend receiving this and placing it on hold pending resolution. At this time, we do not anticipate any city expenses to represent the city's interests in this matter.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from committee? Or council members present? If not, we would be looking for that motion to hold.
Second.
We have a motion by Alder Bellinger, second by Alder Perella. Seeing no further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Chair votes aye. The ayes have it and the motion passes. That one will be held. Next up is item 7, which is report number 37 of 2526, submitting a summons and complaint in the matter of Waldo State Bank versus Taylor Properties LLC et al. With the case number as listed on the agenda. This was addressed in the city attorney's previous comments with the recommendation to hold as well. Is there any discussion from committee? If not, we'd be looking for that motion to hold.
Second.
We have a motion by Alder Bellinger, second by Alder Perella. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Chair votes aye. The ayes have it and the motion passes. That one will be held as well. Next up is item number 8, which is report number 38 of 2526, submitting the 2024 Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report, or CAPER, for the purpose of a presentation and public hearing to be held today.
Hello, all. Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report, CAPER, is to be presented tonight. We do have Kristen Fish-Peterson. She is our consultant. She momentarily did have to step out, but I'm hopeful that she will be back soon. This CAPER here is to supply as an annual report. The city receives federal funds, specifically the Community Development Block Grant, the CDBG funds. Those funds are specifically used to help LMI, the low to moderate income people. I know I'm using a lot of acronyms and data and things like that, so I appreciate you all sticking with me here. But the CAPER is that annual check-in to make sure that we are using these funds correctly, specifically to help those LMI folks. You will see on page 2 of the agenda item that is attached there, it does cover the most recent work done, specifically highlighting the households that receive the housing rehab program funds. These are funds that individuals that have a certain income level that they can apply for. These funds are to help with siding, roofing, windows, things of that nature. Good news is that we are supplying those folks with funds and things of that nature. I welcome any sort of questions that come with it. The CAPER does go into more detail about how we use those funds and things like that, but this is your annual checkup.
Do we have any questions or comments? Alder Perella?
Thank you, Chair. Can you speak a little bit to
how is CAPER used? Is CAPER used also with the idea of getting more funds the next year? So it is used as a document to demonstrate what we have done, what we historically do. So is there a correlation between the CAPER of 2025 and the CDBG funds for 2025 or 2026?
Correct. This is something that we have to do to ensure that we are in compliance. The city is an entitlement city, so we receive an annual funding. We just have to prove this is how we use these funds.
Follow up, please. Could you also please, so this is 2024, right? We will need to wait a year before having information about 2025, I assume?
The consolidated plan, which goes hand in hand with our CAPER here, the consolidated plan is a large document that outlines this is how we use those funds. The CAPER serves as your wellness checkup to make sure that you are in line with that.
And would you be able to speak to the CDBG funds that it is relatively related, but do you know, can you speak to how the CDBG funds are going to change if there is a change for 2026?
So that would have to be an amendment that is specifically through the 2025 consolidated plan. This is on the 2024 consolidated plan. No changes and amendments can be made. This plan was produced previously by Director Pelishak and then was also approved by HUD. So there is no way to change the 2024 consolidated plan.
I'm sorry, I wasn't sorry. I apologize. I wasn't speaking to the mic. No, actually, my question was, if you can answer to that, is do we know if the CDBG funds? Do we know if the CDBG funds, if we are going to receive CDBG funds?
We will for 2025. Yes.
For 2025, we have not received them yet. And do we know if there is a change in the entity of those funds? Did the CDBG funds change? Will be less? Will be more?
No.
Do we know of anything?
Nope. The funds have remained the same.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Alder Close, I saw your mic earlier. What's your question? Asked them. Answered. Fair enough. There will be a public hearing after the presentation as well, which, Director Zeiner, did I hear you correctly that we'll have Ms. Fish-Peterson giving the presentation?
We were just hoping to walk through it. Unfortunately, just like I said, she did have to step out for a personal matter. I'm happy to answer follow-up questions, but the document attached really walks through the funds and the households assisted and things of that nature.
Thank you. We will consider ourselves to have been presented then. Question back to committee then. Any further discussion? Alder Decker.
So basically, the purpose of this is basically to it's a report card to the federal government, basically to say, how are we doing on this? Are we meeting all the qualifications that we need to do? And basically, that's basically what this report is for. Correct?
Exactly.
Right. Any other questions or comments before we move into the public hearing? Alder Close.
Yes, can you just go into a little bit more detail about how different programs were selected for distribution of these funds?
Absolutely. So the city does have to spend 15% of their CDBG funds specifically on public service orgs. The way that works is that public service groups are welcome to apply. They do have to give us the amount of money that they would like to receive, and then their hopes to use that money. We, I believe, got 17 apps. I can't speak to how this was previously done, as that was under Director Pelishak. Moving forward, though, what we do is we accept the app, we sit down with them, we do an in-person interview with them to make sure that they are doing the things that we hope that they do. Specifically based on feedback, homelessness is something that we really wanted to focus on. So we chose that the public service dollars for 2025 be given to those orgs that specialize in unhoused with unhoused people. I'm so sorry. Specifically, the Salvation Army, Lakeshore CAP, etc. We felt like that's something that we wanted to prioritize.
Thank you.
Any follow-ups? All right. Any other discussion from committee or?
Yes, Chair.
Alder Perella.
Yes, the section 3, page 25, identify the number of individuals assisted and the types of assistance provided. There are no numbers there. I'm just curious. I mean, I'm sure that it is done okay for the purpose of submitting the form, but I was curious why there are no data there.
I apologize. You're looking at which chart?
The chart is section 3, page 25. It's page 65 of the document.
Okay.
Looks like it's page 25, table 8.
Thank you. I'm sorry, and your question is about the qualitative efforts, the numbers of activities and programs?
Well, there are no numbers in there. There are only zeros.
Correct. My guess is, and Kristen would be able to speak to this more, my guess is that we have not received responses yet.
For 2024?
Correct.
Director Steiner, the 2024 program year, what are the actual months that spans?
I would have to confirm with Director Krieger, but the funds were dispersed, I believe, at the end of this month or beginning of February.
So it's not just calendar year, it
Correct.
is maybe halfway through the year to halfway through the next year, give or take?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions, comments, general thoughts from committee or members present? All right. If not, we can move on to the second part of this item, which is the public hearing. And just a reminder, this hearing is specifically on I'm just going to call it the CAPER report. So anybody who would like to speak, please come up to the podium. Same as public comment. Please state your name, address, and then you'll have 3 minutes.
We'll save the best for last. Lisa Salgado, 4th Street. On the CAPER report, not the one that was attached to the agenda packet is the condensed version, so I'm kind of going off of the uncondensed version. So on page 20, it stated that administration fees, well, I should back up. So the total CDBG funds, according to Kristen Fish Peterson, were $910,675, but administration costs are listed at $563,786. So it's like 61.9% of the funds are administrative fees. I know HUD usually caps the administration fees at 20%. So that was one question that I had. Also, it said on page 31 that the city is working diligently to foster neighborhood associations. Our last neighborhood board meeting was at Uptown Social, and that was October 17th of 2024. It certainly didn't happen in 2025. They took out dumpster days out of the neighborhoods. They're not allowing neighborhood associations to use facilities for free for events. And basically the neighborhood associations have been cast aside. So I would like to see more improvement in that area in the future because I think neighborhood associations are very important. It helps keep crime down. It helps neighbors to get to know each other. And it can do a lot of great things for the city. So I'd like to see improvement for that in the upcoming year. On page 31, it talks about engaging the public in meetings. So I'm hoping that that will also improve. On page 15 and 16, rental units constructed were 44, and Taylor was great to answer the questions today that it was the Gateway apartment complex on Erie that was just completed, and I think that's a great project, by the way. I know we partnered with some other organizations for that, and it looks good, and I'm very happy that the Caper contributed to that. I did think it was interesting, though, that the person in charge of the block grants is Kristen Fish Peterson. She had worked with Administrator Casey Bradley in Baraboo for housing studies. She did our housing study as well. And I thought it was interesting because our
So
staff.
that is your time if you'd like to wrap up.
Okay.
Last thought.
Our staff member, we were paying $20-some an hour. We contracted with her for $160 an hour with additional expenses. So I'm still waiting for the finance department request on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Rebecca Clark. I'm still living at Fairway Drive. Just procedurally, before you start the clock, this is really long and 3 minutes is painful. Is it still possible to email you something, Director Zeinar, and that would be included in the comments going back to the federal government? So here we go. This is going to be brutal. So the first thing is kind of just general questions. I'm glad we got the 2024. I hope we'll be getting the 2025 CAPER. I did read also the 2025-2029 consolidated plan, and I'm wondering what the process is, when we'll be approving that or having a hearing on that. Also hoping that the work will be done in-house moving forward by staff so we can eliminate some administrative costs. The city things they wanted to work on to assist low-income housing through housing rehab program. However, this is a very important program, but on pages 6 and 11, the CAPER program cites issues with the housing rehab program. It's also mentioned on page 45 of the 2025-2029 con plan. Another challenge, quote, facing the city is the incredible amount of homeowner rehab loan applicants who are ineligible but try to scam the system. More applications are denied due to being unqualified than are approved or awarded by a loan. I really think we have to look at this as staff, as council, because this is an important program. If we're having trouble getting builders to do low-income home, specifically, then we need to rehab what we have. In the chart, and one of the other things you were able to do is support 3 businesses, I guess with revolving business loans. Who are these businesses? I think it says 35 jobs. Where are they? I find it interesting that you can put them in low-income areas of the city or have them hire low-income folks. I don't know how you would do that procedurally. That just seems kind of tricky. I like it. I'd like to know who they are so I can support them. Page 28. An action plan of trying to get public housing residents more involved in home ownership. I don't understand the Housing Authority. I've been looking at their minutes. There are no minutes for the entire year of 2025. How are they connected to the city? You don't fund the city, but are they accountable to us? How are we working with them? I think we get some Section 8 funding. I do not understand the relationship. I just want to tell you today that I'm also on the county board here. I represent District 5. I'm the county board rep on Lakeshore CAP. I love this program. I can tell you in 2021, Lakeshore CAP got $14,000. In 2022, they got $21,000. 2023, they got $12,000. 2024, they got $32,195. And in 2025, they got $10,800 to work with approximately 700 homeless people in the city. And there's a lot of good data in there. Lakeshore CAP can give you the data. I know we're capped on 15% for services, but I really think if we can stop those administrative costs, maybe we can steer some towards those important services that these programs do. Look, Shoreline Metro got some money. I don't understand this. Was that to provide free or reduced costs to those who are lower middle income? How are you tracking that? Is it just for seniors? I'm not really sure what that $44,000 was. It sounds good. Page 14 had rental financial training. Lakeshore CAP does not do this anymore. They also don't provide GED services. I'm not sure about partners for community development. And then it gets kind of interesting. Page 15 of the actual caper gets into policies and barriers addressing poverty. And I hate to say this, I sound like a broken record. We are about to get into codes again because you changed the codes in March 2024. I don't know which codes. Was the public notified? And again, I believe you are changed. The codes are mentioned in this caper a lot.
Time has expired if you'd like to.
And I think that's something that should be addressed.
Thank you. Is there anybody else wishing to be heard?
Mike Burnett, 611 North Water Street again, and I don't think bringing in Dom Capers is going to help, and it's like Packers are in trouble. But bottom line is things are changing, people. All this money in Capers, it goes to help the homeless, which I got to become quite an expert on. And as much as these places are helpful to a point, and it's like we have almost an overabundance of services, and a lot of it needs to be streamlined. And it's like people are kind of upset we lost Pay It Forward. I was so glad, because basically bottom line is it turned it into one big huge campground, and it was how much free stuff people could go and get. And the more crap they came, bigger wagons, bigger backpacks, more whatever, it became one of those that as soon as TMJ4 would come and do their little story on somebody, all of a sudden they were like, hey, I'm the guy that sits in front of City Green for the rest of my life. I'm the guy who's here or there. And the bottom line is every group is trying. Every group is trying. And what I'd like to believe really helps is getting to know the people. Like everybody's familiar with more or less Jave. You might not know who he is, but he's a real cool dude who basically misinstalled an air conditioner, ended up out, then he was out on a day when it was 37 degrees, got frostbite, lost part of his foot, got kicked out of Salvation Army because his foot smelled so bad. He was out on that library for a couple of years. I'd be, Jave, you could still come back here if you get into housing. And he's like, I'm kind of comfortable here. And it's like one of those, when the warming center came, this and that, he started to become known. I go, everybody's talking shit about you. Go online and do your story. He had a story he had. I shared it. Other people came. And bottom line is he's kind of a de facto spokesman clearinghouse. And he's over by the warming center. And I kind of miss him. I talk to him all the time. But I'm glad because I know he's over at the warming center and things are working well for him. And it's like, but what, and even moving that hospital, the ground floor coal over there, that was insane. Over there, it made it so instead of me running to the airports, I was driving homeless people down to the water feature who were trying to figure it out. And it's like, and bottom line is we're making a lot of good steps, but we became too well known for taking care of homeless. So now there was a gap. You go to the library again, it's a whole new crew of old white dudes. And it's like older and even more, less educated. But as long as you provide services and whatever, we're just going to keep filling up because we got known for it. Have a good one.
Is there anybody else wishing to be heard? I believe I've asked at least 3 times. I can't recall for sure if I have to say it 3 times in a row, so just to be safe, I will. Starting over. Is there anybody wishing to be heard?
Can someone ask for time and have Rebecca finish their time? Because I know she worked so hard on this document.
It is just 1 time per speaker, but please do reach out after. I can tell you there are plenty of us that would be interested in hearing.
I do. Okay.
Just state your name and address.
My name is Amanda Bell. It's W7211 Patron Road in Partyville, Wisconsin. So I want to start by saying that I think the economic development in Sheboygan can be a very good thing when it's done responsibly and in partnership with the community. Hearing about the great work that you all are doing with the community and low-income housing, I think this is actually a great opportunity for Amazon that is coming, and it looks like it is likely to happen. But they could put, their growth is going to put immediate pressure on the housing availability and affordability in Sheboygan. I would recommend that you request that Amazon also help invest in the low-income housing and workforce development around Sheboygan, not just creating market rate housing. If they co-locate an employment training center within a facility, that's going to allow skilled training aligned with facility jobs, career pathways into logistics, maintenance, IT, and management. They could also partnership with local and technical college and workforce programs. So if a company benefits from the labor market from Sheboygan, that they should also help stabilize the housing market and the economic development within the county and city. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right, is there anybody else wishing to be heard? Is there anybody else wishing to be heard? Is there anybody else wishing to be heard? All right, seeing none and barring objection by committee, we'll consider the hearing closed by unanimous consent. And we will. City Attorney Majerus, do we need a motion on the report?
So Kristen Fish-Peterson is available to provide the presentation if you'd like to give her that opportunity. The matter
If
for
we
the
go backward
paper,
to have a further presentation, then it,
I would recommend that after the close of the presentation and the public hearing, if the committee is inclined to recommend approving the report 38-25-26 and authorizing the Director of Planning and Economic Development to file same.
sounds good. We haven't moved off to item 8 yet, so yes, let's go back to the report, and then if the committee is amenable, we will open the floor for, we'll call it public comment on any further information that is presented.
Good evening. My name is Kristen Fish-Peterson, and I'm the Economic Development Consultant to the city related to CDBG. This 2024 CAPER is the Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report. It is the final year report looking back at the Consolidated Plan 2020 through 2024. In 2024, the city spent 98.87% of its funds on activities that benefited low to moderate income persons, and those activities included, but not exclusively, homeowner rehab, partnership with nonprofits, and 3 small business loans. There are charts in there that compare actual performance to the annual plan as well as the 5-year consolidated plan. But I want to note that any challenges that the staff faced in meeting those goals included things like there were a lack of contractors for homeowner rehab. There were a lack of eligible applicants applying for for the homeowner rehab program, and there were staffing shortages on the city's side. However, despite all of that, the city still served over 5,000 households that were independent of area benefit activities. So 5,000 individual households were served, including the Shoreline Metro offering rides to people in low to moderate income census tracts to work and to other services. Partners in Community Development provided vital services related to rehab of housing units. The Housing Authority provided rental vouchers to low to moderate income people, and homeless services were provided by Lakeshore CAP, the Abode, and the Salvation Army.
Any further questions or comments from committee members? If not, since we, Alderbarilla.
Just one brief question about the numbers. So you said that in 2024, we served with CDBG funds about 5,000 households? Yeah. So are those counted based on, so are they by service? Did we double dip with those numbers, or is actually we made sure that there were no repetition?
There might have been repetition in the Shoreline Metro numbers. I don't know if their ridership included repeat riders. However, between housing vouchers, homeless funds, homeowner rehab, the data is the way the subrecipients reported it to us. That is what was reported to HUD.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion from committee? Okay, if not, I guess first I'll ask before running through it, is there anybody who would like to speak to the additional information that was provided? Given the fact we split the presentation into two parts, the hearing has already occurred, but if we have the consensus of committee, we could open the floor back up for comment. Same rules as before, 3 minutes. We still need to know if you've moved in the last 5 to 10. Right, and seeing no objection from committee, we will move forward with that.
I believe you. But just to that point, thank you again, still me. To that point about Shoreline Metro, I'm just curious if that funding that they got, it means that those buses would not have gone through those neighborhoods anyway, or again, if this was some kind of reduced fare, which I think would be fine. There's also on page 17, quarterly reports from subrecipients. I noticed that this page is highlighted, but there's not reports. Where are the reports to be publicly viewed? If there are no reports, just say so. I think it's a good idea to have these publicly quarterly reports so that you're not scrambling at the end. Again, with the code changes, I think this is something really important, and I noticed I think you wrote the 2029 plan, and I think it was said that there was going to be an updated comprehensive plan. Then the codes were going to be updated. And now here we are updating codes that are probably going to have to be changed again. We don't have a revitalization plan, I don't believe. I don't believe we updated our census tracts. So again, it's hard to know what neighborhoods you're trying to go into. So I think there's just some pieces that are missing. I'm glad we're getting to 2024, and I look forward to hearing about 2025.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? Okay, less formal this time. We'll consider the floor closed back to staff and committee. And Attorney Majerus, did you say a motion to file on the report?
I would recommend that the motion be authorizing the Director of Planning and Economic Development to file the report with the appropriate federal agencies.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Alder Perella, a second by Alder Bellinger. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Chair votes aye. The ayes have it, and the motion passes. That motion is approved. Takes us to item number 9, which is report number 39 of 2526, submitting, I believe it's supposed to be a list of claims from quarter 4, 2025.
Thanks, sorry, I think we hit the button at the same time. This is the city's quarterly claims report. The documents speak for themselves, so in the interest of time, I'm available for questions.
Do we have any questions or comments from committee? Alder Perella.
I'm just glad to see that there are less claims, right?
Same.
Thank you.
Never a bad thing. Any other questions? If not, and now I am completely thrown off, no action on a report.
Okay.
No, I would just ask that the body file it.
Make a motion to file.
All All right, we have motion to file by Alder Perrella, a second by Alder Bellinger. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Chair votes aye. The ayes have it, and the motion passes. That one is filed. Takes us to item number 10, authorizing entering into a purchase and sale contract with Amazon.com Services LLC regarding the sale of 58.1 acres of land located at the intersection of Stall Road and South Taylor Drive for the purpose of a Class A logistics facility. Director Zeiner.
Yes, we do have Jason from Amazon with us. He is virtually. Jason, I don't know if you're still with us. If so, I would give you the floor to talk about the Class A logistics facility.
Yes, we can hear you in the room. Thank you. First question, Alder Perella.
Yes, thank you, Jason. I'm very happy to see that you're here. I wish I knew that ahead of time, but I appreciate your presentation. You were very fast, however, so I was wondering if you could go over the number of the employees and the type of jobs again, if you don't mind. How many full-times, how many total, how many full-time? Can you do that for us, please? Thank you, Jason. I have one more question.
Go ahead.
Jason, I'm not sure if you may be aware of this, but there are concerns in the community that this project may in future change use and, for example, become a data center. Would you be able to speak to this? Thank you.
Alder Close.
I'd like to also address the data center concerns as well, but this time from the angle of the document itself. And I'd like to direct this towards the city attorney as well. Can you point to language in this agreement that would make a data center prohibited?
Would you like me to answer first, or would you like Jason to answer first? I think you said you directed this to both of us.
No, I directed to you first, but yes,
Okay,
both of you could
sorry.
address that. Yeah.
On page 15 of the purchase sale agreement, this is page 100 in the agenda packet, subsection P as in Paul, right of first offer. If on or prior to the 10th anniversary of the closing date, a Class A logistics building for distribution, fulfillment, or other logistic type services has not been constructed on the property, and purchaser elects to sell or otherwise transfer its interest in the property to another, then the city gets a right of first refusal on the property. And then on page 5 of the purchase sale agreement, page 90 of the agenda packet, subsection F as in Frank, there is a reference to this agreement being in, quote, in connection with its contemplated use and development of the property as a warehouse and distribution facility, end quote. If for some reason this project did a hard pivot and became a data center, the development plans would have to be approved by the Plan Commission before shovels hit the ground. Building permits could not be approved until a site plan is approved by the Plan Commission, et cetera. That requirement applies whether it's a fulfillment center or a data center. And the Plan Commission and the Common Council will know upon reviewing those design documents what the intended use of the building is, and will have an opportunity to raise issues at that point if the intended use is not consistent with this agreement.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Alder Perella.
Yeah, so it seems kind of normal, but the legalese is kind of difficult to interpret, and I'm not sure that is that provision that you mentioned, that if there is a change of use, it comes back to the Plan Commission, and that is in any instance, or if it is, for example, a permitted assignee, there is no need for Amazon to come back to the Plan Commission.
Maybe I misspoke. The construction of a facility on this site would require Plan Commission approval.
But once that it has, let's say it has been approved, so then let's say it sits there for a while, and then 18 months down the road, Amazon decides that the site is not as good anymore for them, which could happen because of business ebb and flows and whatever, and they have a subsidiary or a company is affiliated with them, which could have a data center. I'm just trying to think, the worst case scenario. What happens then is that they have to come back to us for permission, or if it is a permitted assignee, they can just proceed.
I'm having a hard time following the question. So if the property is not constructed as a logistics facility within 10 years, and Amazon within that 10-year time frame wants to transfer its ownership interest in the property to a third party, so sell it to someone else, the city gets the right of first purchase, and we can buy it at the price that we sold it for.
Can I have a follow-up question, Chair?
Sure.
My follow-up question on that is, there is the paragraph 19, I believe it is, in which there is a definition of permitted assignee. And I may have misinterpreted, but it sounds to me that if it is a permitted assignee that is going to take over, let's say Amazon transfers the facility to a permitted assignee, that if I interpret it correctly, then there is no need for, basically the first right choice is not applicable because Amazon transferred to a permitted assignee. That what I'm referring to is the point 19, and since it is convoluted, and obviously, then I may misinterpret it. But based on that paragraph, it sounds to me that yes, the first right is there. And but there are instances such as when the transfer happens to permitted assignee. Now it seems maybe I'm trying to split hair, but my point would be, why cannot we have? I am for this project. I actually think that it would be would have a positive impact on the county. And I am for it. However, since I share some concerns that things can change, I would like to see a more clear protection statement in the contract, indicating that that cannot happen. And since, even based on what Jason said, it's very clear that and I'm very happy of that confirmation, that as of right now, it is not going to be a data center. But can we have a language drafted within this contract that specifically indicate that or reflects that under no circumstance this can become a data center? Can we do that, or is that a possibility? Can we go back to Amazon and ask for that?
All right, so there's a lot of questions in that question. I'm going to try to knock them all out. Paragraph 19 is called assignment, and you refer to the term permitted assignee. That is specifically elaborated in the contract as purchaser's parent company, any wholly owned subsidiary of purchaser, any entity directly or indirectly controlled or under common control with the purchaser. or to any entity from whom purchaser intends to lease. And this agreement, I believe, is binding upon those assignees. So it is required that it be constructed as a logistics facility within 10 years, regardless whether that's Amazon.com LLC or one of the permitted assignees. To your question of whether we could renegotiate this contract to include some type of provision prohibiting a data center from this document or from this parcel, legally, you can contract in a lot of ways. I would probably not recommend that you do that in this case unless you are prepared to do a similar action in all other cases. Otherwise, we are treating this transaction differently than other similarly situated ones, and that would be a concern for me. Practically speaking, this contract has been under negotiation for many months, and each change takes quite a while to get through both parties. So if the council decides that additional changes are needed to this contract, that could very well eliminate this project from consideration.
Going to move on to Alderman Close.
I'd like to address a different subject unless somebody else would like to bring up some other thing related to the data center discussion that we were just having. All right. So earlier you had mentioned that there were the potentiality for about 150 to 200 jobs, with 30 to 40 being salary leaders at that $85,000 price point, salary point, including a generous benefits package. However, this agreement does not include assurances for those levels of employees or the ability to factor them in for this agreement. So I'd like for you to speak to any kind of assurances as to this level of employment. My big concern being is that going forward, many businesses, many manufacturers and warehouses are moving more and more towards an automated operational set. And if they're moving more towards automation in the near future, will we be able to have assurances that this 150 and 200 employees will come to fruition after this agreement comes through?
Yeah, it's an excellent question, to which I'd say that these facilities don't use a lot of automation. The kinds of automation that you might think of at Amazon takes place at our first mile facilities, those larger facilities like in Kenosha, Oak Creek, and the one being built in Madison. These are very human-focused facilities. Where they use machine learning, that's usually about efficiency as it relates to how a package is routing and how we get a package to our customers faster. But there isn't a lot of space to use automation in these facilities, and would certainly invite any member of the Common Council or this committee to join me on a tour in one of these facilities. The closest one is likely in Appleton, and we can certainly facilitate that.
Absolutely. May I follow up? And I've had the pleasure of actually touring the Kiva Robotics facility, seeing how robotics are used in facilities similar to this for pick, packing, and moving goods. So I would argue that there is space in a facility for a lot of these different types of devices that allow for automation. I'm not necessarily worried that all of the employees or that it would go dark. My concern would be that it would be a substantially smaller number of employees. So I'm looking for, is there any kind of additional assurances that this number of employees is a number that we can rely on? Because it is not outlined in the agreement as listed right now.
Right. In all areas I mentioned, that this particular facility is a delivery station. So the Kiva Robots facility that you saw is a first mile facility. This is entirely different type of facility, which is why I invited you into the facility. This facility does require a certain number of people to operate for us to hit a capacity or unit level to be able to deliver the products on time. And so that number is 150 to 200 minimally for us to hit that. There won't be a guarantee because there's not an incentive attached to this particular project.
Okay, thank you.
Director Zeiner.
Yeah, and to kind of go off of that, I know that Jason had mentioned the Appleton facility. The city partners with New North. New North serves as our regional economic development service. They were able to look at the economic impact specifically of that Appleton facility, and they were able to provide us with the information there. They said for a facility like Jason is sharing, the economic impact is quite significant. Specifically, $73 million in totals in wages and things of that nature. In estimated direct and indirect, there is about 1,200 jobs created. So we feel like this will have a strong impact, mirroring the Appleton facility.
Any follow-up? Alder Decker.
Yes, I don't know if this is something that Jason can address to us or not. I'd kind of like to know what the valuation of the facility will be once it's completed. I mean, are we looking at $20 million, $10 million? What's the valuation? What kind of tax base is this going to create?
I can tell you what the capital investment is on the project, and typically we see something like this. Again, where we haven't gone out to bid with contractors just yet, so we don't have a guaranteed price on this project. But typically, between $30 and $50 million is the cost to construct a facility like this.
Okay, thank you.
Alder Close.
Yes, I'd like to also address you mentioned earlier that this would provide a lot of small business partnerships in the area. One of my main concerns with a large retail person, it's going to be directly competing with a lot of our local small businesses. So I was very interested to hear that the first I'm hearing of this, that there is the small business partnership program that you detailed earlier in your presentation. Could you please go into more detail about that small business program, how you'll be partnering with local businesses, what that will look like, and how local businesses would be able to hook into that program?
Apologies, Alder Close, I may have misspoke, but I discussed a career choice program, which is related to our associates and their education, their capacity to pursue higher education. As it relates to small businesses, within Amazon, about 60% of our sales that take place are from small, medium-sized businesses. We work with thousands of small businesses. And that's the primary mechanism by which that we would partner with small businesses.
Jason, I don't mean to interrupt you, but we lost you for about the last 20 seconds.
Apologies, can you all hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Perfect. So through our seller program would be the primary mechanism by which we would partner with small businesses, where they would leverage our platform to grow their business. And we certainly see that as an opportunity as we expand, but there is no formal partnership program.
May I follow up? Could you please go into more detail about how that would benefit small businesses, that they're being able to utilize the services, the last mile services?
Do we still have Jason?
Apologies, I'll do. You cut out on me there a little bit, but I heard the first part of that. But could you just repeat, Alder Close?
Yeah, I'm curious as to how that program, how local businesses would be able to utilize Amazon in order to benefit their operations, in order to use this facility to their advantage going forward. If you could go into more detail about that.
Sure. This facility, they can't necessarily leverage directly, but indirectly they certainly can. If they engage in partnership with Amazon to grow their business, they are looking at selling widgets. We certainly have access to a much larger market than traditional brick and mortar store. And so we've seen a number of businesses, including one in Appleton, that was able to scale its revenue to $6 million within a short period of time. We also work with a seller in Wausau that sells ginseng from Wisconsin all across the world. And so this would be an opportunity for folks that are small businesses that aren't just in Sheboygan County, but certainly across the state of Wisconsin, get their products closer to Wisconsinites faster.
Thank you.
Any other discussion from committee? Alder Administrator Bradley.
Yes, thank you. One thing we also wanted to bring up was the land value, how that was arrived at. So we had Valbridge property appraisers out of Brookfield do an appraisal on the property. You all have a copy of the appraisal on your desk. Essentially, the value is the property was valued at $38,000 an acre. That is assuming that the road was in there and used for public right of way. Obviously, the agreement that we've come to would be that the city would be vacating it. As a part of the discussions, Amazon has agreed at their cost they will be removing that. We did make a request that we could keep the streetlights that were out there, so the city will be incurring those costs, but that'll go into inventory and it'll help with our supply of lights that get hit throughout the year. We won't have to buy replacements, we'll have them on hand. So that will be a benefit to taxpayers, but they are going to incur the cost, which is reflected that the city won't have to incur that, so the sales price is $35,000 an acre. So they are paying full market rate with a slight discount for us not having to incur costs for the road or the infrastructure that'll be removed by them, which I believe in another project, our estimated cost of doing that was about $125,000. Oh, $550,000 was our estimate on a prior project that the city was planning to incur those costs. So there is no TID incentive here, and they're incurring those costs on their own.
Thank you for the additional insight on that. See, we have a couple, a few green. Alder Perella.
Yeah, I want to reiterate that I support the project in itself. However, I still have concerns about the limited protection we have in the contract for this business to change on us. And I actually would like to propose to postpone the decision to after the zoning code has been finalized. And I can make a motion on that to that extent.
To clarify, you're looking for a motion to postpone this item until
I make a motion to
zoning code is adopted?
That is correct.
Okay, we would need a motion on that.
Excuse me?
I said that would be a motion that needs to be made.
Yes, so I move to postpone the decision on this project to after the zoning code has been, the new zoning code has been finalized.
Do we have a second on that motion? All right, we have motions. We have a motion and a second on postponing until such date that there's a adopted or rewritten zoning code. Attorney Majerus.
I believe we have a main motion to approve, so we now have two competing main motions. to start the discussion,
I think it's actually the other way around now that you say it. We haven't had a motion to approve yet, but a motion to postpone is subsidiary, so.
you view it as subsidiary? That's, okay, just want to make sure.
Okay. And as our parliamentarian, I did a lot of studying before this meeting, whether or not there's debate on the motion to postpone to a set schedule. I do not recall, is this a debatable motion?
Can you repeat your question, please?
Is a motion to postpone debatable?
I would say that it is debatable if you're treating it as a subsidiary motion, then it would be debatable. You would have a vote on that and then you would return to your main.
We don't have another main motion on the floor yet. Nobody has made a motion to approve. The motion to postpone was made first.
Oh, so to be clear, you went straight to discussion on the item and you didn't tee it up with a motion to approve?
Yeah.
Okay, then this would be the main motion and you would debate that.
I'm also going to exercise my discretion as chair to say this motion is debatable and ask if anybody would like to discuss the motion to postpone. Okay, pretty much everybody is buzzed in. Can you let me know if you pressed that button before or after this motion was made?
Mine is for the to debate this.
For postponement, I guess let's go in order here. Alder Bellinger, did you have a comment on?
Not on the postponement. I had something, prior to that.
Okay. Depending on how this goes, we'll circle back. Alder Close. Alder Decker.
Yes, I'm just gonna. I think to postpone this, I think is going to jeopardize this process. To jeopardize this project, I think would be a great disservice to the citizens of this city. I look back on the history of some of the projects that we have lost in the past. Specifically, the Masters Gallery project, which is now sitting in Oostburg, which is the taxpayers of Oostburg are enjoying that. The American Orthodontics. If you drive down I-43, go right down past there in Saukville, you see that facility sitting there. We've had this industrial park now it was actually started before I was on council. 2017, I believe, was the year it was started. I'm not quite sure exactly. And at that time, the land was marketed for sale. Over that time period, we have one building on there. We have one building which isn't even now. I don't even know what the usage is of that building. It's a spec building that was brought in. Here we have a chance to build a $30 to $50 million, which we will be collecting taxes on. 200,000 square foot facility, which will bring jobs to the area. And I cannot, in good conscience, delay a vote on something like this with the chance of possibly losing this project.
Thank you, Alder Decker. Do we have any other committee members that would like to speak on the motion to postpone? If not, I'll piggyback off of Alder Decker's comments. I do agree. I would strongly oppose going this direction with it. Both, I think the tail end of the business park getting finalized and established was your and I first year.
Yes.
Back in 2018, and this land has been there available, unfilled since then, and this is exactly the type of project that was discussed way back when the idea of establishing that business park came up. Second, postponing until we have a zoning code adopted makes it so that we are just holding this item for an unknown period of time, entirely guided by whatever the process is for the zoning code, which my understanding is that will be going back to Plan Commission for further review. I don't really want to tie this entire project's future to how fast that moves through Plan Commission. I It needs to be reviewed for an extended period. It should get that time, and there shouldn't be the extra pressure of getting this project through. I do not believe that this is the best course of action for us. Any further discussion? Okay, for clarity, a yes vote here would be to postpone. A no vote keeps this in front of us where another motion can still be made and further discussion can be had. So seeing no further discussion at this time, all in favor?
Yes.
All opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Chair votes no. Am I count?
No.
No. Aye.
I got that. Chair votes no, so the motion to postpone is defeated. We still have this item in front of us. I know we had the queue completely lit up, so if anybody wants to buzz back in. Alder Bellinger.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to concur with some of the comments that Alder Decker stated. I was on the council when the idea of the industrial park was first submitted and approved, and when I ran again for my second term, I met with the city administrator, who was relatively new to his position at the time, Administrator Bradley, and I was very concerned with the lack of any development going on in that industrial park and the lack of, in my opinion, focus on trying to get somebody to come in there and do something. He assured me at that time that he was very focused and he did not want to get a bunch of small warehouses and smaller distribution, companies that would come in there and just kind of piecemeal it and have, 20 to 30 different small entities there. He wanted to go after something big, and I commend him for doing that and in what he was able to get done with this. I think this is a fantastic project, and I would like to also commend the planning director, Taylor Zeinert, as well, in her department and her staff, Administrator Bradley, your staff as well. There's been a lot of negative things that I see on social media regarding this. We went into closed session a number of months ago on this project. Never once was a data center ever brought up that this possibly could be one. I have no idea where that misinformation came from, but it permeated the public and it became this big to-do over nothing, in my opinion, because this is not going to be a data center. So we told people on and on that it was not going to be a data center. The other falsehood that was presented was that we were giving the land away. We're giving it away for $1. And we're just giving away 50, 60 acres in the industrial park for $1, and we're just pandering to some big company in doing this. Well, we're selling it at a market rate. I think the agreement is fantastic. I think the long-term benefit is going to be outstanding. Once this became public, I called the administrator for the city of Kenosha and the planning director for the city of Kenosha. They both returned my calls, spent quite a bit of time on the phone with each one of them, asked them a bunch of different questions. I wanted to get a feel for how they felt it was like working with Amazon. Are they a good community partner, as far as a business partner goes? I heard nothing but outstanding things coming from both of those gentlemen. They said they're fantastic in the community, and they're outstanding. They love having them as a business partner, and so that was the due diligence that I did on my end to to see if there was anything at all negative that I could come up with as a reason to not support this, and there wasn't anything. So. Again, I fully support this. Jason, thank you for being here with us this evening. I'm excited to have Amazon part of the Sheboygan community. I think it would be, a great partnership and a long-term one as well. So I fully support this. Thank you.
Alderman Close.
Thank you. So I'd like to speak to my apprehensions about this agreement. I am apprehensive about this agreement in that a lot of the things that were discussed today, the job creation potential, the ability to partner with small businesses to get that last mile, to be able to ship your goods nationwide are great. However, this is a uniquely powerful organization that is able to directly compete with local small businesses at a scale and depth that Sheboygan has not seen before. And we need to be cognizant that that makes this deal a unique type of enterprise. We're not talking about Master Gallery or other types of programs that have come to this area. Their aim is to directly compete with local small businesses. And what makes Sheboygan a great place to live and be is the huge ecosystem of small businesses and small retailers that have come up in our downtown and places that people who like to come on vacation, they like to visit. And this would directly endanger those businesses. So my qualms with this agreement is it could be positive for Sheboygan, but it needs work. We need assurances that there will be these jobs, these good jobs that he described, and I wish they come to fruition, but we do not have assurances for those jobs in this. We need assurances in order to negate those negative externalities that could come from a business type like this coming to our area. Our vacation rentals, our tourism industry is growing. And one of the big reasons for that is because Sheboygan is a destination. What makes it a destination is its walkability, its small businesses, and things like that. And if we don't foster those small businesses, all of them, and allow them to grow, we're not doing a good service for the city and the people of Sheboygan. There is, again, possibility that this agreement could be positive. This will be a substantial amount of tax revenue that will come into the city, but we need those additional assurances in order to make this a viable agreement so that the people of Sheboygan can actually benefit from them being in town. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I've used Amazon services myself, and I think they're very convenient for certain circumstances. But for others, where I need to go and get something from a local business, I go out to the local business, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. This would eliminate a lot of folks who are looking for that convenience, who are looking for that price point. They're going to go and get that next day delivery, and they're going to have it available to them that day or the next day. That's the aim of this type of business. So I can't support this type of agreement as it's currently written. I would need many more assurances in order to feel comfortable that this has a positive outcome for Sheboygan. Right now, unfortunately, those assurances aren't there, and the positive outcomes aren't guaranteed. They're a hope.
Any further discussion from committee? Any discussion, comments from alders present? No? All right, at this time then, we would be looking for a motion on the item, either a motion to recommend approval or...
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve by Alderman Bellinger, seconded by Alder Decker. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, chair votes aye. That motion to approve passes, and just for clarity, approval at the committee level is a recommendation to council. That is not the end of the discussion. However, that item has been approved. All right, that brings us into item number 11, which is resolution number 147 of 2526, authorizing retaining outside legal counsel to represent the city in the matter of Walmart Stores Incorporated versus City of Sheboygan, and authorizing payment for said services. Would anybody like to speak to this item?
Sure, I can speak to this. Thank you. This resolution is asking for permission to retain the legal services of Amy Seibel, who represents the city in all of our contested property tax cases.
Thank you. And this one is also not new to committee. We see this one in substantially similar form come through fairly often. Do we have any discussion? Alder Decker?
Yep, question for you. This has happened before, and this has been, we've been going now. I thought that somewhat this was settled by the state Supreme Court originally. It has not. What can be done is this, and as we as a council, can we draft some kind of resolution encouraging our state legislatures to address this issue?
I think what you're referring to is the dark store loophole.
Yes.
And yes, I was hopeful that after state Supreme Court case law that we would stop seeing these lawsuits, but we haven't stopped with just a couple of property owners. What could be done? A resolution urging legislators to consider additional parameters around these types of cases would be helpful. Working with representatives at the Wisconsin League of Municipalities for their lobbying efforts would be helpful. I believe the property tax assessors have a lobbying group. Working with them could be helpful as well. Until then, we'll just continue aggressively defending these actions.
Well, the sad part about this is it costs city taxpayers money to go after to get our money back from a Walmart. I mean, this is one of those cases. It's not only Walmart. We just had the one from the other entity with Festival Foods. I mean, this costs us dollars every time we do this, and seems to be like every year we're doing this, and it's very frustrating.
Yeah, it is. I share your frustration. Attorney Seibel is working to consolidate these cases to streamline their defense, and I believe that several of them, I hope I'm not misstating this to Walmart versus Festival Foods, but I believe that several of these cases are being consolidated for a single trial as well. And if I recall, Walmart agreed to voluntarily dismiss one of their earlier cases when they filed the newer case. So it is a business model for them at this point.
Any other discussion on this item, Alder Perella?
Yeah, just out of curiosity, can you refresh our memory about how did it go in previous years? How how was this resolved in previous years?
To be determined.
None of them has been finalized yet.
The 2023 case was voluntarily dismissed by Walmart. 2024 and 2025 are in active status.
And also with the other business?
Yes.
Okay. Pending, all pendings. Thank you.
Any further discussion? If not, we would be looking for a motion to approve on this one.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Alder Perella, a second by Alder Decker. All in favor of approval?
Aye.
All opposed? Chair votes aye. The ayes have it, and the motion passes. That item is approved. Next up is resolution, or item number 12, which is resolution number 148 of 2526, amending the residential recycling fee and residential garbage collection fee for the services provided by the city.
Thank you, Chair. This item is brought forward to you to adopt the fee change that was incorporated in and considered during the 2026 budget preparation and adoption. It is an increase of $1 per month between the garbage and recycling fee and those two accounting organization codes that we have. The intent, as you may recall from the budget preparation meetings, is that the refuse fund does become self-sufficient so that those tax dollars aren't utilized, and to cover the true cost of providing the garbage and recycling services to the community. So this is another step towards that.
Questions or comments on this one? Alder Perella?
And these were not updated, have not been updated since 2012?
There was one additional change last year for $1, so there was discussion in the 2025 budget preparation that it would be $1 per month per year for the next few years in order for us to get that up to the cost that it actually is incurred in those funds. But we didn't want to do it all at one time to help the residents.
Thank you for refreshing my memory.
You're welcome.
Alder Decker.
Yes, I just would like, if possibly, if Director Peterson could just give a quick of how close this is going to get us to paying for the tipping fee. Tipping fees. Are we still quite a bit off, or is this getting us closer?
Going to throw that over to Director Krieger.
Oh.
Yes, thank you. I'm just looking up, give me one moment, please. The amount that is currently still subsidized by taxes each year, I'm getting there, I apologize. So for 2025, we were at $778,000. And 2026, we're at $497,000. So you can see there is a delta going down, which is also intended to support the garbage truck replacement as well, so that we have that funded as well instead of needing to borrow funds in the future.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I'm seeing head shaking no from that side. I won't ask the same question for the 75th time. While staring at you, because I still do have to ask it. Is there any further discussion? All right, seeing none, then we would be looking for a motion to approve on this.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve by Alder Perella, second by Alder Decker. Director Krieger, your mic screen, did you have? Okay. All in favor of the motion to approve?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Chair votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion passes. Item is approved. Next up is item 13, resolution number 149 of 2526, authorizing the appropriate city officials to execute an addendum to the contract for the revaluation of all real and personal property and contract extension for annual assessment services, City of Sheboygan 2021 through 2026, relating to the term of the contract. City Attorney.
Thank you. This is an amendment to make some corrections to the document to make sure that it is clear.
More specifically, was this just a date in the document that was originally incorrect?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments on this one? It hasn't even been 2 hours yet, guys. All right, seeing no discussion on this one then, we would be looking for a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Alder Perella, second by Alder Decker. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Chair votes aye. The ayes have it and the motion passes. That one is approved. Next up is item number 14, resolution number 153 of 2526, authorizing the city to implement an incentive program for workers' compensation claim medical appointments in conjunction with the transition to Holista Network Rewards Program.
Thank you. This is a new program offered by the city's insurer for workers' compensation, CIVMIC. It provides a nurse triage phone line for employees after incidents. The nurse on the phone will take the incident information and help manage the employee's care as they are navigating their workers' compensation issue. We hope that employees will appreciate the offering and to incentivize employees to participate in the program. CIVMIC offers a financial incentive to those employees, which is outlined in the attachment to this resolution.
Questions or comments? All right. If not, we'd be looking for a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve by Alder Perella, second by Decker. Seeing no discussion on this item.
Do you want to do this?
All in favor?
Hey, but I can do it if you like. I'm used to doing it.
Okay, I'm going to call for that vote one more time. Seeing that there's no discussion on this item, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Chair votes aye. The ayes have it. That motion is passed. Next up is item number 15, contemplating closed session.
I make a motion to convene in closed session under the exemption contained in Wisconsin Statute 1985 1G for the purpose of conferring with the legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral and written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is involved, to Chad Perishek versus City of Sheboygan et al.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to convene in closed session. This will be a roll call vote. Elder Bellinger. Aye. Elder Close. Elder Decker.
Aye.
Elder Perella.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. We will be moving into closed session after a brief recess for everybody to get transferred over there and perhaps stretch their legs a moment. The committee will reconvene back into open session afterwards, so this does not yet complete the public portion of tonight's meeting.
Thank you for attending me.
All right. Do we have a motion to reconvene in open session?
I make a motion to reconvene in open session for possible action relating to the matters discussed in closed session.
Second.
We have motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Chair votes aye. The ayes have it. We have to
Individually.
I thought that was only on the way out.
We did, during common council.
Do we need a roll call on the reconvention vote, or?
I believe we do.
I'm going to say the chair didn't hear what the answers were, so I'm going to call again, and I'll call the roll, because that will be faster then.
Yeah.
Alder Bellinger. Aye. Alder Close. Aye. Alder Decker.
Aye.
Alder Perella.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. All right, we are reconvened in open session. Brings us to item number 17, resolution number 152 of 2526, authorizing the city attorney's office to settle the matter of Chad Pelishek versus the city of Sheboygan et al. In the United States District Court, Eastern District of Wisconsin, case number 23 CV 1048.
I make a motion to recommend to settle the matter of Chad Pelishek versus City of Sheboygan et al.
Second.
All right, we have the motion from Alder Perella, a second from Alder Decker. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Chair votes aye. The ayes have it, and the motion passes. That one is approved. Okay, the next regularly scheduled meeting date is January 26th, and with that, we've exhausted our agenda along with just about everything. I'd be looking for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion by Alder Bellinger on adjournment, second by Alder Decker. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Chair votes aye. The ayes have it, and the motion passes. We are adjourned.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, everybody, for spending a little time with us this evening.